Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to Get Hit with the Truth. So today we're doing the What's Next on Oleksandr Usyk, the undefeated and unified heavyweight champion of the world, following his 9th round TKO victory over Daniel Dubois on August 26th in the main event of an ESPN Plus card. Before we get into that, if you could smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate any and all support that I can get as I try to build my channel up here. So Usyk and Dubois, you know, it ended in controversy a little bit because there was a punch that landed in the 5th round for Dubois on Usyk's belt line that was ruled a low blow by the referee. But, you know, many people didn't feel the punch was low. Personally, looking at that punch, I don't think I would have, my overall testament is I don't think it was low. But it was definitely on the belt line where you could call it either way if you're a referee. So I don't think anything's going to come from Dubois' protest to the WBA. I think maybe the most that happens for Dubois is that he's going to maybe get first dibs on a final eliminator in the WBA. But I really think that's all that's going to happen. So for Usyk, the big question now is what's next for him? Well, it's really two main options, and then if those two don't happen, then we'll come up with possibilities for a third. But basically, it's like this. He's either going to fight Tyson Fury for the undisputed heavyweight title, or he's going to have to make a mandatory against Filip Hrgović, who's next in line in terms of his mandatories. Going into the fight with Dubois, he had 3 mandatories in a row. WBA was first, the IBF is second, and the WBO is third. The WBA had regular champion Dubois, who Usyk beat. The IBF has Filip Hrgović, who's been the IBF mandatory challenger for a couple years now. And then there was in the WBO, Zhali Zhang is the WBO interim champion after upsetting Joe Joyce earlier this year. They're rematching in September, but they are after Hrgović in terms of who's in line for a mandatory title shot. So, you know, as of right now, it looks like, Usyk is either going to fight Fury or he's going to fight Hrgović. I think there's a lot of pressure on the Fury and Usyk fight to get made for the undisputed title. It almost got made earlier this year, and then it didn't happen. So I think a lot of people want to see this fight happen. I'm still favoring that that's what's going to be next for Oleksandr Usyk, but I also think if that doesn't happen, I absolutely believe he'll fight Hrgović next, in a mandatory. But if those two options do not happen, if they don't happen, I think, we're going to run through the top 10 and see what would possibly be next if for some reason Fury or Hrgović didn't happen for Usyk. So we start with Deontay Wilder, the former WBC champ. I mean, I think that's always a possibility, but Wilder seems to be in talks with Anthony Joshua. They're in deep talks right now trying to get that fight done. They might be signing a 2-fight deal also. So we're going to see what comes from that. I think it's possible, but if Wilder signs on for a 2-fight deal with Joshua, then it wouldn't be possible for Usyk. But I think if the Joshua fight falls through, if Fury falls through, and let's say Hrgović gets injured, it's possible, but I actually believe the WBO mandatory would probably be enforced for Usyk then. So I don't think Wilder would be possible, but you never know. I mean, stranger things have happened, so we'd have to see. Then you got a 3rd fight with Anthony Joshua. Joshua is he's not one of the mandatories right now. He's number 1 contender, I believe, in one of the divisions, but he's not the mandatory challenger. So, and Usyk, I don't think he'd be into a 3rd fight with Joshua until Joshua builds some steam. And building steam means going out and beating Deontay Wilder again, or beating a Tyson Fury, or something on that level. And Joshua just hasn't done anything like that. So I think that's what he needs to do. That's what Usyk needs to do. I mean, Joshua needs to do in order for this fight to happen, but I don't see Usyk and Joshua being a possibility. Zhali Zhang, I definitely think if Zhang beats Joe Joyce again, and for some reason the Hrgovic fight doesn't happen, then we're gonna, Fury and Hrgovic doesn't happen, then Zhang, I think, is next in line. I think Usyk and Zhang would happen for the WBO title because Zhang would be the next mandatory. Then we already discussed Hrgovic. Then you got Joe Joyce. Well, Joe Joyce is in the same spot as Zhali Zhang. If Joe Joyce defeats Zhali Zhang in their rematch on September 23rd, then I think if Fury and Hrgovic doesn't happen, then Joyce is next, and Usyk would have to fight Joe Joyce next. So I really believe Joyce is a real possibility, and I did pick Joyce to beat Zhang in their rematch. So yeah, he definitely would be the next possibility. You got Andy Ruiz Jr., the former unified heavyweight champion. I think Usyk would be down to fight him. I don't know if Ruiz would price himself out or not, but I don't think the fight would be possible because Usyk just has mandatories due. Then you got Luis Ortiz, former world title challenger. Not seeing it again. Usyk has mandatories due, and I don't think Usyk would want to fight a guy in his 40s that really is past his prime and and is not the biggest name that he could fight. Then you got Dillian White. Usyk might take a fight with a guy like Dillian White if nothing else was there, but he's going to have plenty there. He has mandatory after mandatory, and the option of Fury. So I don't see Dillian White being possible. And we already saw what he did with Daniel Dubois, so a rematch there would not be possible next. So it really is two solid things or a potential third option that I think is a long shot. So it's basically one of four opponents you're going to see Usyk fighting next. The two very real ones are Tyson Fury for the undisputed title or Filip Hrgovic in a mandatory title defense because he's next in line. If Fury doesn't happen and Hrgovic can't fight for some reason next, then I think Usyk fights the winner of Zhang and Joe Joyce in their rematch. Those are the only options, in my opinion, for Usyk's next fight. And in reality, those first two options are the highly likely ones, one or the other. I'm hoping it's Tyson Fury, but it could definitely end up being Filip Hrgovic because we saw Usyk and Fury fall apart earlier this year already. So we'll see what happens, but that's it. That's what I got. That's my what's next on the reigning undefeated and unified heavyweight champion of the world, Oleksandr Usyk, following his 9th round TKO victory over Daniel Dubois. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.